name is Dwayne Lawback, and I'm a 72-year resident of this fine city. My family we came from Oklahoma, and we were survivors, so to speak, of the dust storms and the Great. Anyway, the question is often asked about shopping. Well, shopping was very limited. People some of them would take the bus to Las Vegas and shop. The bus would go back and forth between here and Las Vegas, and it'd be like 10 cents a trip. They'd do their shopping and they'd come back. And then later on we had where the El Dorado Club now sits, the parking garage. There was the first store that was erected was a store called Clark's Market, and that was right where the garage is situated. Well, the first theater that we had, called the Victory Theater, is now the parking lot where the footprint is the parking lot of the Emerald Isle. Anyway, in addition to that, other entertainment we had where the Emerald Isle is now. We had a bowling alley, and we had a pool hall. And a lot of kids, we took in the game on the bar. But yeah, had a beer bar.
What a historical time we were living in, that it had just been incorporated and became a town, a city. No, we were just busy being kids at the time. My mom and dad, we came through the first time from Minnesota in about 1951, and it was so hot that my folks took us to a movie at the Huntridge just to kill the day so we could travel at night. And I remember my brother and I saying, man, we don't ever want to live in a place like this. We settled in, and as soon as I started school, I was in the 8th grade. I knew it then, and my friends have heard me say this, I knew immediately that this was like a magic place to be.
When I grew up here, and again, I'm a newcomer by this panel's standards. My family came here, I think, in 1966. So we were a big city then by, I think, what, about 15,000 maybe, Dwayne? And, we came out of Utah, and similar to Colleen's story, I have vivid memories of pulling in here with, we didn't have much money. And we had a truck full of furniture, and that was about it. And my dad worked for the Bureau of Reclamation, and it was hot. It was unbearably hot, and we pulled in here in June, and I truly thought, I didn't know what hell was when I was a kid, because if I could describe it, that's how it felt, and it was amazing. I'd never experienced a swamp cooler, and I didn't realize that after about 90 degrees, the swamp cooler was just blowing air, and it was a difficult adjustment for me that first summer, but I fell in love with the town, and I fell in love with the community. I've been here ever since. My daughters. When I was a kid, and some of you, I'm sure, have had the same experiences, wherever I'd go out of town to play baseball or football, we were constantly referred to as Hooterville. And it was always meant in a very derogatory sense. And it bothered me. It pissed me off, for lack of a better term. And it really got under my skin. And for many years I dealt with that. And I was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to run for office and win. And I was at a school board meeting, actually a business meeting over at the airport. And this would have been about 1995. I'd been in office for a couple of years. And I think all of you probably remember the bitter fights we were having with the Clark County School District to get resources to Henderson. We were the fastest growing in the city in the country for the 4 years I was in office, and for many years after that. And a group of us got together and decided we just weren't going to take it anymore. We wanted a fair share. We wanted a fair shake, and we wanted those resources. So I'm sitting at a meeting, a very hotly contested meeting. It was absolutely out of control. And what it really came down to was Henderson versus Summer. So everybody thought. And the chairman wisely called a break, because it really was, it was a difficult meeting. And I make no apologies for it. I was in the trenches and I was fighting for our community, and that was my job. So we take a break, and I'm in the back getting a soda or water, talking, and a lady just beelines up to me, and she was furious. And she says to me, you've got a lot of nerve, young man. You were just, you've got a lot of nerve. You should be just ashamed of yourself. But, I'm not surprised, because that's how you people from Snooterville act. I thought for a minute, I know that wasn't meant as a compliment, but I think that was the greatest compliment I've ever received in my life. Because I spent 25 years, 30 years of my life being called from Hooterville, and all of a sudden I'm elevated to Snooterville.